Once upon a time, in a quiet town, Tracy was living her dream life. It had been a month since she married Timothy, the man she called her soulmate. Tracy couldn't stop smiling as she thought about how blessed she was. Timothy treated her like a queen, showering her with love, gifts, and endless affection. One sunny afternoon, Tracy's best friend from school, Catherine, came to visit. Catherine and Tracy had been inseparable during their school days, but life had taken them on different paths. Catherine had remained single, while Tracy had settled into a happy life with Timothy. As they sat in Tracy's cozy living room, Tracy couldn't help but share her joy. "Catherine, you can't imagine how happy I am. Timothy is everything I prayed for and more. He pampers me, spoils me, and treats me like I'm the only woman in the world. And let me not even start on how amazing he is in bed," she added with a playful laugh. Catherine smiled, but behind her smile was a growing envy. "Tracy, you're always so lucky. Even in school, everything seemed to come easily for you. You were always the one men adored. Honestly, I envy you. I wish I could have what you have." Tracy, unaware of Catherine's true feelings, laughed softly. "Don't worry, Catherine. Your time will come. God has a plan for everyone." As the day turned to evening, Catherine announced she needed to leave. "It's getting late. I should be heading home," she said. Tracy frowned. "Why don't you sleep over? We can talk more and catch up." Catherine shook her head. "No, Tracy. I need to get home tonight." "All right," Tracy said after some hesitation. "Let Timothy drive you home. It's already dark." Timothy, who had just returned from running errands, was visibly tired. "I'm really exhausted, Tracy. Can't she call a taxi?" "Please, love," Tracy insisted. "It won't take long. Just drop her off and come back. You know how unsafe it is at night." Reluctantly, Timothy agreed. He grabbed his keys and headed to the car with Catherine. The car ride started quietly. Catherine, seated beside Timothy, couldn't stop glancing at him. He was tall, handsome, and had an air of confidence that made him irresistible. She thought to herself, how did Tracy get so lucky? After a while, Catherine broke the silence. "Timothy, you're a really good man. Tracy is so lucky to have you." Timothy smiled politely. "Thank you. Tracy is an amazing woman." "I'm the lucky one." Catherine tilted her head. "You know, Timothy, Tracy wasn't always the woman she is now. Back in school, she had a lot of wild moments." Timothy's grip on the steering wheel tightened. "I know everything about Tracy's past. She's been honest with me, and I respect her for it." Catherine was surprised but quickly recovered. "That's admirable," she said, her voice soft. When they arrived at Catherine's house, she hesitated before getting out of the car. "Timothy, would you like to come in for some coffee? You must be tired after the drive." Timothy shook his head. "No, thank you. I should head back to Tracy." "Please, Timothy," Catherine pleaded. "It's just coffee. It won't take long. Besides, you look like you could use a little break before driving back." Timothy hesitated. He did love coffee, and the invitation seemed innocent enough. "All right, just one cup, then I'm leaving." Inside Catherine's home, the lights were dim, and the atmosphere was warm and inviting. She led him to the living room, where a fresh pot of coffee was brewing. The rich aroma filled the air, and Timothy couldn't resist. As they sat on the couch, Catherine handed him a steaming cup. "Here you go. I make the best coffee in town," she said with a wink. Timothy took a sip and sighed. "This is really good." Catherine watched him closely, her eyes lingering on his face. "Timothy, do you ever feel like you're too good for one person?" Timothy looked up, confused. "What do you mean?" Catherine leaned closer. "I mean, a man like you. You deserve to be adored by more than just one person. Tracy is lucky, but do you ever wonder if there's more out there?" Timothy frowned. "Tracy is all I need. She's my world." Catherine smiled softly, but there was a glint in her eye. "You're a good man, Timothy. But sometimes good men need to be reminded of their worth." She placed her hand on his arm, and Timothy felt a strange warmth. He tried to pull away, but Catherine moved closer. "Timothy, I have always admired you. From the moment I met you, I knew you were special." Timothy tried to protest, but Catherine's words and the coffee she had spiked with a mild sedative began to cloud his judgment. She leaned in, her lips inches from his. "Timothy, let me show you how much you're worth." Before he could think, Catherine kissed him. He froze, but the combination of her touch, her words, and the effects of the drink made him lose control. One moment turned into another, and Timothy found himself in Catherine's arms, betraying the woman he loved. When Timothy finally got home, he parked the car and sat there for a moment, his hands gripping the steering wheel. His mind was racing, and his chest felt tight. He wanted to wipe away the memory of what had happened, but it clung to him like a shadow. As he stepped inside the house, Tracy rushed to meet him, her face lighting up with joy. She hugged him tightly and said, "You're back. What kept you so long?" Timothy swallowed hard and forced a smile. "It was traffic," he lied, avoiding her eyes. Tracy smiled warmly. "You must be so tired. Come, let me get you something to eat." Timothy nodded, but his heart was heavy. The guilt weighed on him like a stone. Little did he know, Catherine was at home, smiling to herself. She wasn't done yet. One night wasn't enough. She wanted more, and she was ready to do whatever it took to make Timothy hers. The next morning, Timothy sat in his office, trying to focus on work. He couldn't stop thinking about the previous night. Guilt gnawed at him, but he kept reminding himself that it was a mistake, something he could forget and never repeat. As he was deep in thought, his phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. Curious, he opened it, and his heart dropped. It was a video of him and Catherine from the night before. His hands shook as he watched it, his face going pale. He quickly called the number, and Catherine answered almost immediately. "Catherine, what is this? Why would you record that?" Timothy demanded, his voice filled with panic. Catherine's voice was calm but cold. "Relax, Timothy. I just thought it would be good to keep some memories. You're such a special man after all." "Delete it," Timothy shouted. "You have no right to record me without my permission." Catherine laughed softly. "Oh, Timothy, why would I do that? This video is my insurance. If you don't come over to my place tonight and be with me, I will send it to Tracy. Imagine how she'll feel watching this." Timothy's heart raced. "Catherine, please, don't do this. You will destroy my marriage." "That's up to you," Catherine replied. "If you do what I want, your secret is safe. If not, Tracy will know the truth." Timothy was trapped. He couldn't bear the thought of losing Tracy or hurting her like this. He had no choice but to agree. That evening, Timothy arrived at Catherine's house, his head hanging low. She welcomed him with a sly smile, dressed in a way that made her intentions clear. "I knew you'd come," she said, leading him inside. "Catherine, this isn't right," Timothy said, his voice shaky. She turned to him, her expression firm. "Then walk away, Timothy. But you know what will happen if you do." Timothy sighed heavily and followed her into the house. Catherine made him sit on the couch and brought him a drink. "Relax," she said, sitting close to him. "We're just two people enjoying each other's company." Timothy didn't respond. He felt like a puppet on strings, controlled by her every move. That night they were intimate again, but Timothy's heart wasn't in it. He felt disgusted with himself. When it was over, Timothy sat on the edge of the bed, his head in his hands. "Catherine, this has to stop," he said firmly. "I can't do this anymore. It's wrong, and I love my wife." Catherine, lying on the bed with a satisfied smile, propped herself up on her elbow. "Oh, Timothy, you're so naive. Do you think I'm going to let you go that easily?" "You don't have to do this," Timothy pleaded. "I will do anything, but please don't hurt Tracy." Catherine's smile vanished, and her eyes hardened. "You will do anything, Timothy. Then you will keep coming back here whenever I want. If you don't, that video will go straight to Tracy. And trust me, she'll see it." Timothy clenched his fists, anger and frustration bubbling inside him. He wanted to fight back, but he was powerless. Catherine held all the cards, and she wasn't going to let him go easily. Timothy stood up, avoiding her gaze. "I'm leaving," he said quietly. "See you soon, Timothy," Catherine said with a smile. "Oh, and don't keep me waiting next time." As Timothy walked out of the house, his heart felt heavier than ever. He knew he was trapped in a web he couldn't escape. The next day, Tracy decided to visit Catherine. She wanted to check on her friend and also talk about a few things that had been on her mind. When she arrived, Catherine welcomed her warmly, pretending everything was normal. "Tracy, it's so good to see you," Catherine said, hugging her tightly. "It's been a while, Catherine," Tracy replied with a smile. "I just thought to drop by and say hello." They sat in the living room, chatting about old times, sharing stories and laughing. Tracy felt comfortable, as she always did around Catherine, but deep down, Catherine was hiding her true intentions. As their conversation went on, Tracy's face lit up. "Catherine, I don't know how to thank God enough for Timothy," she said with excitement. Catherine raised an eyebrow, feigning curiosity. "Oh, really? What did he do this time?" Tracy chuckled. "He's just the best. He treats me like a queen. He spends so much on me, always pampering me. And don't get me started on how amazing he is in bed." Catherine leaned forward, pretending to be interested. "Oh, do tell." Tracy blushed a little but continued. "He's so good, Catherine. And, let's just say he's well endowed. I feel so lucky to have him." She laughed shyly. For a moment, Catherine didn't respond. Then, to Tracy's surprise, she smirked and said, "Oh, I know about that." Tracy froze. "What do you mean you know about that?" she asked, her voice filled with confusion. Catherine quickly realized her mistake and laughed nervously. "Oh, I mean, you always talk about how great Timothy is. I just assumed." Tracy relaxed and laughed too. "Oh, Catherine, you scared me there for a moment." Catherine smiled and quickly changed the topic. They talked about other things, but Tracy couldn't shake off a strange feeling. Something about Catherine's response didn't sit right with her. After a while, Tracy decided to leave. "It was so good catching up with you, Catherine," she said, giving her a hug. "Same here, Tracy," Catherine replied with a sweet smile. "Take care of yourself and that wonderful husband of yours." As Tracy walked out, Catherine closed the door and leaned against it, her smile turning sinister. "This foolish girl," she muttered to herself. "She has no idea what's coming. By the time I'm done with her, she will regret ever calling me her best friend." Catherine sat on her couch, a wicked smile playing on her lips. She had always envied Tracy, but now she was determined to ruin her happiness. She thinks she's lucky. She thinks she has it all. But soon, I will show her that no one wins against me. When Tracy got home, she told Timothy what Catherine had said. She explained how Catherine mentioned knowing he was well endowed and how it made her feel uncomfortable. Timothy told her not to pay attention to Catherine's words. He said Catherine was just playing around and that her loneliness was getting the better of her. Timothy added that Catherine was probably depressed and acting out of envy because Tracy was happily married. He told Tracy to stop visiting Catherine and said he didn't like her as a friend. Tracy tried to ask more questions, but Timothy cut her off. "Enough, Tracy," he said. "I've said my mind. I don't want to see her in this house either." Tracy didn't argue further, though she felt uneasy. She agreed to stop visiting Catherine, though she didn't fully understand why Timothy felt so strongly about it. A week later, Timothy's mother came to visit. During their conversation, she told Tracy that she loved her and saw her as a daughter. She then explained that she had a troubling dream about Tracy and her best friend, Catherine. In the dream, she said, Tracy and Catherine were fighting bitterly. It left her feeling uneasy, so she decided to come and warn Tracy about it. Tracy reassured her, telling her not to worry. She said it was just a dream and that nothing could ever make her have issues with Catherine. Tracy explained that she and Catherine had been friends for years and that Catherine was a nice person. Timothy's mother sighed and said, "If you say so. But don't say I didn't warn you, Tracy. Dreams sometimes mean more than we think." Tracy laughed lightly and told her, "Mama, you worry too much. Catherine is my best friend, and she would never do anything to harm me." Timothy's mother didn't argue further, but her heart remained heavy. She felt something wasn't right, but she decided to leave it in Tracy's hands. A few days later, Catherine called Timothy again. She sounded calm, but her words carried a hidden threat. She told him to come over, and when Timothy refused, she quickly reminded him of the video. Timothy felt his stomach twist. He didn't want to go, but the fear of Catherine's threats left him no choice. When he arrived, Catherine welcomed him with a sly smile, acting as though nothing was wrong. Once again, she seduced him, and Timothy gave in to her demands. After they were done, Catherine turned to him with a smug expression. "Admit it, Timothy," she said. "You enjoyed it. I'm way better than your foolish wife. I know more styles, and I'm more sophisticated than Tracy. You know you deserve someone like me. Why waste your life on her?" Timothy clenched his fists, anger building inside him. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Catherine continued, her tone dripping with arrogance. "Divorce her, Timothy. Let's stop pretending. We both know I'm the woman you truly deserve. Marry me, and I will give you everything she can't." Timothy couldn't take it anymore. His voice rose in anger as he stood up. "Enough, Catherine. Never in my life will I marry you. I have had enough of your games. Go ahead and show the video to Tracy if that's what you want. I will apologize to her, and she'll forgive me because she's a better person than you'll ever be." Catherine's smile vanished, replaced by shock. Timothy continued, his voice firm and filled with disgust. "I'd rather face the consequences and lose everything than continue with this disgraceful affair. You can go to hell, Catherine. I am done with you, forever." Without waiting for her response, Timothy stormed out of the house. Catherine sat frozen, unable to believe what had just happened. She had never expected Timothy to stand up to her like this. After a long silence, her shock turned into rage. She clenched her fists and muttered to herself, "I won't let this end here. Timothy must be mine. If I can't have him willingly, I will make him mine by force." Her mind raced with thoughts of what to do next. Determined, she whispered, "I must go to the Queen Mother. She'll help me get what I want. Timothy doesn't know who he's dealing with. He will be mine, no matter the cost." Timothy got home that evening and locked himself in his room. He sat on the bed, holding his head in his hands, tears streaming down his face. "Oh Lord," he whispered, "what have I gotten myself into? Please, Lord, I hope my beautiful, loving wife forgives me if she ever finds out. I have messed up. I've made a terrible mistake." The weight of guilt pressed heavily on his chest. He thought about Tracy, her kindness, her love, and her unwavering trust in him. The thought of losing her made his heart ache even more. As he sat there, deep in thought, Tracy walked into the room. She noticed his red, tear-filled eyes and sat beside him. "My love, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" Timothy quickly wiped his face and forced a smile. "It's nothing, Tracy, just work. It's been a lot lately, and it's overwhelming me." Tracy looked at him closely, concern written all over her face. "No, my love, it's been a long time since I saw you cry like this. I know you. This isn't just about work. Something is bothering you." Timothy's heart raced as he tried to think of what to say. Tracy continued, "I have noticed that these days you always come home late, and you're often angry or distant. I can tell something is wrong. Please, talk to me." Timothy felt trapped. He couldn't bear to tell her the truth, so he quickly brought up another topic. "I have just been thinking about some projects at the office," he said, his voice unsteady. "They're not going as planned, and it's frustrating. That's all, Tracy. You don't need to worry about me." Tracy frowned, still unconvinced. "Are you sure that's all?" "Yes, my love," Timothy replied quickly. "Please don't stress yourself over this. I will be fine." Tracy sighed, nodding reluctantly. "Okay, if you say so, but remember I'm here for you. Whatever it is, we will face it together." Timothy nodded, but his guilt only grew stronger. He watched as Tracy left the room, her concern evident. He knew he was hurting her with his lies, but he didn't know how to fix the mess he was in. The following day, Tracy and Catherine met up at a small restaurant. Tracy had been feeling uneasy about Timothy's behavior and thought it might help to talk to her friend. After ordering their meals, Tracy decided to open up. "Catherine," Tracy began, her voice low, "I'm really worried about Timothy. These days he comes home late and he's always angry. I don't know what's going on with him. It's like he's hiding something from me." Catherine leaned back in her chair, smiling slightly. "You see, I told you, Tracy, men are all the same. Scum, every one of them. But you don't listen to me. That foolish, ugly man of yours is clearly cheating on you." Tracy's eyes widened in shock. "Catherine, don't say that about my husband. You don't even know what's going on. Timothy is a good man. He's just under a lot of pressure at work." Catherine laughed sarcastically. "Oh, please, Tracy, wake up and smell the coffee. He's probably out there with some other woman while you sit at home praising him like he's some saint. Men are useless. Divorce him, Tracy. Leave that cheating fool, and let's enjoy life together like we used to." Tracy got so angry. Don't say nonsense about my husband, Catherine. You don't know anything about him. Just because you're single and bitter doesn't mean every man is bad. It's not my fault you haven't found someone. Honestly, I blame myself for coming here in the first place. Catherine's face twisted with anger. You are so foolish, Tracy. So blind. You're so local, it's embarrassing. I don't even know why we're still friends. You act like a naive little girl, defending that man like he's perfect. Look at you, Tracy. So local, so foolish. Tracy stood up abruptly. Her voice rose as she shot back. And you wonder why you're still single, Catherine. It's this dirty attitude of yours. This bad character is the reason no man wants to stay with you. No wonder my husband and even my mother-in-law warned me about having friends like you. Catherine scoffed, her face flushed with anger. Get out of here, Tracy. You're nothing but a fool who refuses to see the truth. Without another word, Tracy stormed out of the restaurant, her heart pounding with a mix of anger and regret. She couldn't believe how far Catherine had gone, insulting her husband and trying to plant seeds of doubt in her mind. As Tracy walked to her car, she made a decision. She would distance herself from Catherine. Timothy and her mother-in-law were right. Catherine wasn't a true friend. Catherine got home fuming with anger. She threw her bag on the couch and paced around the room, her mind racing with thoughts of revenge. So that foolish Timothy and his arrogant mother have been saying bad things about me, she hissed. They think they can insult me and get away with it. They will both regret this, I promise. And as for that foolish Tracy, she'll pay too. All of them will regret ever crossing me. She sat down and began plotting. First, Elle will deal with Timothy. I will make him dislike his mother. I will drive a wedge so deep between them that they'll never recover. Then I will make Tracy's life miserable. She will regret ever calling me her best friend. The following day, Catherine made her way to a prophet known far and wide for his evil ways. His name was Prophet Mark, and many whispered about his dark powers. Catherine was desperate and willing to go to any length to get Timothy for herself, so she pushed aside her doubts and entered his dimly lit shrine. The air was thick with the smell of burning incense, and strange symbols covered the walls. Prophet Mark sat cross-legged on a mat, his piercing eyes seeming to look straight into Catherine's soul. "What brings you here, my daughter?" he asked in a deep, gravelly voice. Catherine knelt before him, her voice trembling with determination. "I need your help, Prophet. There's a man I love. His name is Timothy. But he's married, and his wife Tracy and his mother are in my way. I want him to hate them both. I want him to chase them out of his house so I can take my rightful place by his side." Prophet Mark stroked his beard thoughtfully. "What you are asking is not small, my daughter. There is a price for such a thing." "I don't care what it costs," Catherine said firmly. "I will do anything. You can take my womb, my mother's life, anything you want." At her words, Prophet Mark burst into laughter, his voice echoing through the small room. "Oh, my daughter, I'm sorry to inform you that you don't have a womb. It was damaged long ago because of your many abortions." Catherine's heart sank, and her face turned pale. "What?" she gasped. "What do you mean I don't have a womb?" The prophet's expression didn't change. "You heard me. Your womb has been gone for years. You should have known this by now." Catherine was stunned. She had no idea she was wombless, and the realization hit her like a brick. For a moment, she was speechless. Seeing her shock, Prophet Mark continued, "But do not worry, I can still help you. I have a solution that will get you what you want." Catherine's hope returned, but it was mixed with unease. "What do I have to do?" The prophet's face darkened, and his voice dropped to a whisper. "You must sleep with me once every day until your last day on earth. That is the price." Catherine felt disgusted. She stared at the prophet, her stomach turning at the thought. "Ew," she thought to herself, "this ugly, old, dirty man. How could he even suggest such a thing?" The prophet noticed her hesitation and leaned forward. "You can leave if you're not ready to pay the price, but remember, without me, you'll never have Timothy. He will remain with his wife, and you will stay alone forever." Catherine swallowed hard. Her hatred for Tracy and her desperation to have Timothy were stronger than her disgust. Reluctantly, she nodded. "I agree," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Prophet Mark smiled wickedly. "Good. Then let us begin." He brought out strange items, cowries, feathers, and bottles of red liquid, and began chanting in a language Catherine didn't understand. The room grew colder, and she felt a shiver run down her spine. She closed her eyes, determined to go through with it no matter what it took. When the ritual was done, Prophet Mark handed her a small black pouch. "Take this," he said. "Keep it close to your body at all times. Timothy will begin to hate his wife and mother. He will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. But remember, our deal is binding. If you miss a single day with me, everything will be undone, and the consequences will be worse than you can imagine." Catherine nodded, clutching the pouch tightly. She hated herself for agreeing to such a thing, but her obsession with Timothy had consumed her. As she left the shrine, her heart was filled with a mix of excitement and dread. This is just the beginning, she thought to herself. Soon, Timothy will be mine, and Tracy will know what it means to mess with me. Catherine wasted no time. After leaving Prophet Mark's shrine, she went straight to Timothy's office. The moment Timothy saw her, his eyes lit up as if he was seeing the most beautiful woman in the world. He couldn't control himself. Without saying a word, he walked over to her and kissed her deeply. Catherine smiled to herself, knowing that her plan was working perfectly. After a moment, Timothy pulled away briefly, his voice breathless but firm. He picked up his phone and called his secretary. "Listen, cancel all my meetings for the rest of the day. And under no circumstances should anyone disturb me. Not my wife, not my mother, nobody. Tell them I'm very busy," he said sternly. "Yes, sir," the secretary replied, though she was surprised at the unusual instruction. Catherine sat on his desk, her confidence radiating. "Now that you're mine," she said with a sly smile, "you must always do as I say. No questions, no hesitation. Do you understand me?" Timothy nodded without a second thought. "Yes, Your Majesty, your wish is my command," he said. Catherine leaned closer, running her fingers through his hair. "Good, that's what I like to hear. From now on, I'm the only woman in your life. You will prioritize me over everyone else. Your wife, your mother, everyone." Timothy looked at her with adoration in his eyes. "I wish I had met you before my wife," he confessed. "I feel like I've wasted so much time with her. Even my mother can't tell me to stop loving you. I've never felt this way about anyone before, Catherine. You are everything I've ever wanted." Hearing this, Catherine felt a surge of triumph. She had won. Timothy was completely under her control, and nothing or no one could stop her now. She smiled sweetly at him, but inside she was celebrating. "Finally," she thought to herself, "everything I've worked for is falling into place. Thank you so much, Prophet Mark. This is only the beginning." She glanced at Timothy, who was gazing at her with a look of pure worship. "Don't worry, my love," she said, placing a hand on his cheek. "I will take care of everything. You just need to trust me and do as I say. Together, we will create a life far better than the one you had before." When Timothy got home that evening, there was an unusual spring in his step. For the first time in weeks, he walked into the house with a wide smile on his face. Tracy, who had been sitting in the living room reading a magazine, immediately noticed. "Welcome home, my love," Tracy said, getting up to greet him. "You look happy today. What's the good news?" Timothy chuckled lightly, brushing off her question. "Nothing. I just had a good day at work." Tracy raised an eyebrow. "Really? Just work? I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. Tell me what happened. Did you close a big deal? Did something exciting happen?" Timothy's smile faltered slightly, and his tone turned cold. "I said it's nothing, Tracy. Mind your business." Tracy was surprised by his response. "Mind my business? Timothy, what's wrong with you? I'm your wife. Can't I ask why you're happy? Or is there something you don't want me to know?" Timothy sighed, clearly annoyed. "I don't have the energy for your questions tonight, Tracy. Just let me be, okay?" Tracy folded her arms, trying to keep her temper in check. "Fine. Do you want something to eat? I made your favorite, jollof rice and grilled chicken." "I'm not hungry," Timothy said bluntly as he headed to the bedroom. "You're not hungry?" "Timothy, you've been skipping meals a lot lately. Are you okay?" Tracy asked, following him. "Tracy," he snapped, turning to face her, "I said I'm not hungry. Stop nagging me." Tracy stared at him, stunned by his sudden outburst. She didn't understand what was going on with her husband. He was acting like a completely different person. "All right," she said quietly. "Good night, Timothy." He didn't respond and simply walked into the bedroom, shutting the door behind him. As Tracy sat back down in the living room, she felt a wave of sadness wash over her. Timothy's behavior had been growing more distant and unpredictable with each passing day. She couldn't help but wonder what had gone wrong in their marriage. The next morning, Tracy woke up feeling restless. She had spent the entire night thinking about Timothy's strange behavior. She knew something was wrong, but couldn't figure out what it was. After much deliberation, she decided to call Timothy's mother. When Timothy's mother picked up the call, her voice was warm and welcoming. "My daughter, how are you doing? How is my son?" Tracy hesitated before responding. "Mama, I don't know how to say this, but Timothy has changed. He comes home late, doesn't eat, and barely talks to me. Last night he snapped at me for asking a simple question. I'm worried, Mama. I don't know what I've done wrong." Timothy's mother sighed deeply. "My daughter, don't stress yourself. I will talk to him. Timothy is my son, and I know how to handle him. Don't worry, your marriage is intact. You are his wife, and no one can take that away from you. I will deal with this." Tracy felt a little relief after the conversation. "Thank you, Mama. I just don't know what else to do. Please talk to him. I love him, and I want us to be happy again." After ending the call with Tracy, Timothy's mother immediately dialed her son's number. When he picked up, she could hear the irritation in his voice. "Good morning, Mama." "What is it?" "Timothy," his mother began firmly, "what is going on in your home? Tracy called me this morning, saying you've been acting strange. Why are you treating your wife like this? Is there something you're hiding?" Timothy sighed loudly, clearly annoyed. "Mama, why are you calling me about this? I don't like people interfering in my marriage. Please stay out of it and mind your business." His mother was stunned. "Timothy, how dare you talk to me like this? I am your mother. I have every right to be concerned about your marriage." "Mama," Timothy interrupted coldly, "I said stay out of it. Tracy is my wife, and I'll handle things my way. Don't call me about this again." Before his mother could say another word, Timothy ended the call abruptly. Timothy's mother stared at her phone, shocked and hurt by her son's words. "What is wrong with this boy?" she muttered to herself. "This is not the son I raised. Something is not right here." Catherine called Tracy later that evening. Tracy was surprised to see her call after their last argument and was about to hang up, but Catherine's voice came through the phone, sounding soft and apologetic. "Please, Tracy, don't hang up," Catherine pleaded. "I'm so sorry for the way I spoke to you the other day. I shouldn't have said those things. You're my best friend, and I miss you." Tracy hesitated for a moment, then sighed. "Catherine, you really hurt me. The things you said were too much." "I know, Tracy, and I feel terrible. Can we meet up and talk? Let's go to our favorite restaurant. I promise I'll make it up to you," Catherine said sweetly. After thinking for a moment, Tracy agreed. "All right, tomorrow afternoon." "Perfect," Catherine replied cheerfully. "See you then." The next day, they met at the cozy restaurant they had loved since their university days. As they sat down, Catherine flashed her usual charming smile. "Tracy, you look amazing. How's everything at home?" Tracy, still trusting Catherine as she always had, sighed and began to open up. "Honestly, things haven't been great lately. Timothy has been acting strange. He comes home late, he's always angry, and he barely talks to me anymore." Catherine sipped her drink and shook her head. "Tracy, I told you before. You should just leave that fool, divorce him, and enjoy your life. Men are not worth the stress." Tracy frowned. "Catherine, it's not that easy. I love my husband. He provides for me, and he treats me well in bed." Catherine rolled her eyes. "That's not enough, Tracy. I think it's time for you to get a job. Start working so that foolish man will start respecting you. Then, when you have your own money, you can leave him for good." Tracy sighed. "Catherine, enough about me. What about you? You look so beautiful and happy these days. Who's the man making you glow?" Catherine's face lit up. "Well, Tracy, I'm dating a very handsome, wealthy man. He's so sweet. In fact, he just bought me a brand new car yesterday." Tracy's eyes widened with excitement. "Wow, that's amazing. Let me see a picture of him." Catherine laughed nervously. Not so fast. You will meet him soon enough. Tracy nodded. Okay, but I hope he's not married. You know you have a thing for married men. Even back in school, you liked getting involved with men who were taken. Catherine's face darkened. What do you mean by that, Tracy? Please don't start with your judgment. Realizing she had struck a nerve, Tracy quickly apologized. I'm sorry, Catherine. I didn't mean it that way. I'm happy for you. Catherine forced a smile. It's okay. Let's just enjoy our lunch. As they continued eating, Tracy couldn't help but feel something was off. Catherine was acting too secretive, and deep down she wondered if her friend had really changed. Meanwhile, Catherine was thinking to herself, just wait, Tracy. Soon everything will fall apart, and you'll see that your precious Timothy belongs to me. That evening, when Timothy got home, Tracy sat him down in the living room. She had been thinking a lot about what Catherine said, and she finally decided to talk to her husband about it. Timothy, I have been thinking, I'm tired of just staying at home all day doing nothing. I want to work, Tracy said softly, hoping he would understand. Timothy looked at her with surprise and shook his head. No, Tracy. Never. You don't need to work. I provide everything you need. Why do you suddenly want to start working? Tracy sighed. Timothy, it's not about the money. I just feel useless sitting at home all day. I want to do something meaningful, meet new people, and contribute to the family too. Timothy's face hardened. Meaningful? Tracy, your job is to take care of our home. What else do you want? Haven't I given you everything? Tracy swallowed hard. Timothy, it's not that I'm ungrateful. I just want to have something of my own. I want to feel independent. Timothy stood up, his voice firm. Listen to me, Tracy. If you start working, your focus will shift. You'll get too busy and start neglecting your duties at home. I won't allow that. Tracy's eyes widened in disbelief. Timothy, I can balance both. Many women work and still take care of their homes. Timothy shook his head again. Not in my house. You have to choose. Your marriage or a job. I won't have it both ways. Tears welled up in Tracy's eyes. Timothy, why are you being like this? Don't you trust me? Timothy sighed and looked away. It's not about trust. I just don't think it's necessary. I know how the working environment is. It changes people. Tracy wiped her tears and stood up. Timothy, I can't believe you. I thought you would support me, but instead you're making me feel like a prisoner in my own home. Timothy ignored her words. I have said what I have to say, Tracy. If you really love me, you will listen. Tracy walked away, feeling disappointed. She had hoped Timothy would understand, but instead he shut her down completely. As she lay in bed that night, thoughts raced through her mind. Why does he not want me to work? What is he afraid of? Catherine walked confidently into Timothy's office, her eyes filled with anger and determination. Without waiting for an invitation to sit, she placed her handbag on his desk and crossed her arms. Timothy, why are you still sleeping with Tracy? Timothy's heart skipped a beat. He looked around nervously to make sure no one was listening. Catherine, please lower your voice. I'm sorry, he stammered. I didn't mean to. It's just, Tracy is still my wife. Catherine scoffed. Wife? Don't make me laugh, Timothy. You promised me you would leave her. What are you waiting for? Timothy sighed, running his hand through his hair. Catherine, it's not that easy. Tracy has been with me for a long time. I can't just throw her out like that. Catherine leaned in closer. Well, it better be easy now because I'm pregnant. Timothy's eyes widened in shock. Pregnant? He repeated, his voice filled with a mix of surprise and excitement. You're serious? Catherine nodded confidently. Yes, I am. I just confirmed it yesterday. A smile spread across Timothy's face. Wow, Catherine, this is amazing. I've been married to Tracy for 1 year now, and she hasn't even told me she's pregnant. But you, just like that, you're giving me what I've always wanted. Catherine smiled. That's because I'm the right woman for you, Timothy. I told you from the beginning that I'm the one meant for you. Tracy can't give you what I can. Timothy nodded eagerly. You're right, Catherine. I love you so much. Tracy means nothing to me. Catherine leaned back in her chair and crossed her legs. Then prove it, Timothy. Divorce her, right now. Go home and send her out of your house. Timothy took a deep breath and stood up. I will. Don't worry, she's leaving my house today. Catherine smiled in satisfaction. Good, I will be waiting to hear the good news. Timothy grabbed his phone and keys, feeling a rush of excitement and nervousness. I'll take care of it, Catherine. You and our baby are my future. Catherine watched him leave the office, a sly smile playing on her lips. Finally, she whispered to herself, Timothy is mine. That foolish Tracy will soon know her place. Timothy stormed into the house, his face filled with anger. Tracy, who was sitting in the living room, looked up in surprise. Timothy, what's wrong? She asked. Without hesitation, Timothy pointed to the door. Get out of my house, Tracy. Pack your things and leave right now. Tracy's heart pounded in shock. What? Timothy, what are you saying? What have I done? Timothy, look at her. You are barren, Tracy. I have been married to you for 1 year, and you couldn't even give me a child. Now my wife-to-be is pregnant, and I don't need you anymore. Get out. Tears filled Tracy's eyes. Please, Timothy, don't do this. I love you. I've been trying. Timothy cut her off. Trying. For how long? You're a failure, Tracy. I don't want a useless woman in my life anymore. My woman is carrying my child, something you could never do. I don't want to see you in this house when I come back. Tracy fell to her knees, sobbing. Please, Timothy, don't do this to me. We can find a solution. I can go to the hospital. Let's not end our marriage like this. Timothy scoffed. Solution? Solution? There's no solution to your barrenness, Tracy. Just leave. With a heavy heart, Tracy packed a small bag of clothes and left the house, tears streaming down her face. She had nowhere to go. The only place she could think of was Timothy's mother's house. When she arrived, Timothy's mother was shocked to see her in such a state. Tracy, my daughter, what happened? Tracy burst into tears. Mama, Timothy chased me out of the house. He said I'm barren and he's marrying another woman. Timothy's mother hugged Tracy tightly. Come inside, my dear. Don't cry. Everything will be fine. Later that evening, Timothy's mother called him. Timothy, what is wrong with you? Why did you send your wife away? Have you lost your mind? Timothy's voice was cold. Mama, stay out of this. Tracy is not my wife anymore. Chase her out of your house right now. His mother gasped. Timothy, how can you say such a thing? Tracy is your wife. How can you treat her like this? Timothy laughed bitterly. She's not my wife anymore. Catherine is pregnant with my child, something Tracy could never do for me. I have no use for her. His mother's voice was filled with anger. Timothy, listen to me. You are making a big mistake. Tracy has been a good wife to you. Timothy shouted, Enough, Mama. If you keep Tracy in your house, I will stop sending you money. Your allowance is finished. His mother sighed. Timothy, I don't care about your money. You can go to hell with it. But one day you will realize your mistake, and by then it will be too late. Timothy angrily ended the call while his mother shook her head in disappointment. What has come over my son? She whispered. One day, after Catherine and the prophet had just concluded their unsettling encounter, the prophet turned to her with a stern expression. From now on, he announced, we'll be continuing this at Timothy's house. If you refuse, you know the consequences. His voice was unwavering and cold. Catherine felt a wave of disgust wash over her, but the fear of defiance paralyzed her. She nodded reluctantly, knowing she had no other choice. The prophet had already made matters worse by decreeing that their meetings would now occur 3 times a week. Catherine's heart sank, but she masked her emotions, unwilling to provoke any further anger. Tracy had no choice but to start selling fruit on the street to support herself and Timothy's mother after she was kicked out of the house. Every day she worked hard, hoping that someday things would get better. She knew that Timothy was no longer the man she once knew, but the pain of it all still hurt deeply. One day, one of Timothy's friends came to his office with some news. Timothy, he said, I saw Tracy selling fruit on the street. It's not good for her to be out there like that. Timothy didn't even look up from his desk. He was getting tired of hearing about Tracy. Don't talk to me about her, he snapped. I don't love her anymore. She's nothing to me now. I'm in love with someone else, and that's all that matters. His friend was shocked by his words. But Timothy, she's your wife, and she's out there struggling. Have you forgotten everything she did for you? Timothy's eyes narrowed. I don't want to hear it. I've made up my mind. She's not the one for me anymore." His friend was speechless, unable to believe how far Timothy had fallen. He couldn't understand how someone could turn their back on their partner so easily, especially after everything they had been through together. But Timothy was determined. He had made his choice, and no one was going to change his mind. He didn't care about Tracy's struggle, nor did he care about the pain he was causing. All that mattered to him now was Catherine. One day, as Tracy was out selling fruit on the street, she ran into an old school friend named Frederick. He was dressed in a sharp suit, his shoes polished to perfection, and he looked nothing like the young man she once knew. Frederick was surprised to see her in such a situation. "Tracy?" he asked, his voice filled with shock. "Is that really you? What happened? You don't look like the girl I used to know." Tracy smiled weakly. "It's me, Frederick. Life has been tough. Things didn't turn out the way I expected." Frederick looked at her with sympathy, but also admiration for how she was handling her struggles. "You have always been strong, Tracy, but this doesn't seem like you. Why are you out here selling fruit? I can't believe what I'm seeing." Tracy took a deep breath and began to tell him her story. The heartbreak, the betrayal, and how she had been forced to leave her home. She told him about Timothy and the pain of losing everything she had worked so hard for. Frederick listened quietly, his expression softening as she spoke. When she finished, he stood there for a moment thinking. "You know, Tracy, I have started my own company now. I'm doing well, and I think you could be part of something bigger, something better. I'm looking for a personal assistant, and I think you'd be perfect for the job." Tracy couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Are you serious?" she asked, her eyes wide with disbelief. Frederick smiled. "I wouldn't joke about something like this. I have seen your potential, Tracy. You deserve better than this. You don't have to sell fruit on the street. I'll offer you a job with a good salary and you can start fresh." Tracy felt a wave of relief wash over her. For the first time in months, she felt hope. It was a chance to turn her life around, a way out of the darkness she had been living in. She gratefully accepted his offer. Tracy went home and shared the good news with Timothy's mother. "Mama," she said, "I have something wonderful to tell you. Frederick, an old school friend, offered me a job as his personal assistant. I'm going to start working with him tomorrow." Timothy's mother was overjoyed. "That's wonderful news, Tracy. I knew you were a strong woman, and look, this is your opportunity to rise again. I'm so proud of you." Tracy smiled, her heart feeling lighter than it had in a long time. She had taken the first step toward a new chapter in her life. Tracy was at work when her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She hesitated for a moment, then answered. "Hello?" she said. "Tracy, my dear," the voice said. It was Catherine. "I just wanted to check on you. I know things have been hard for you lately." Tracy stayed silent, listening. "I feel so bad about everything," Catherine continued. "Your dear husband is sleeping with another woman. Can you believe it? But don't worry, I will find out who she is for you." Tracy took a deep breath. "Catherine, I know already," she said. "I never thought it would be you. You have the nerve to call me after everything. You are so foolish." Catherine laughed. "See how life works, Tracy. You were always praising Timothy. You said he loved you, treated you well, and made you happy. Now look at you, he left you for someone better." Tracy's heart ached, but she kept her voice steady. "Catherine, you are a homebreaker, a gold digger, a devil. You will regret this." Catherine laughed louder. "Look at who is talking. You are the foolish one, Tracy. I told you to leave him before it got worse. Now you are on the streets." Tracy's hands shook with anger. "Mark my words, Catherine. This won't last. One day Timothy will see your true colors, and by then it will be too late." Catherine scoffed. "Keep dreaming, Tracy." Tracy didn't say another word. She ended the call and took a deep breath. Her eyes filled with tears, but she wiped them quickly. She looked up and saw Frederick watching her. He smiled kindly. Tracy managed a small smile in return and whispered to herself, "I will not give up. God is watching." She went back to work, pushing Catherine's words aside. 9 months had passed since Catherine claimed she was pregnant. One evening, Timothy sat on the couch, watching her closely. He frowned and asked, "Catherine, when are you having the baby? Your stomach is not even big." Catherine's eyes widened and tears welled up in them. She covered her face with her hands and began sobbing. I lost the baby months ago, she said in a shaky voice. Timothy shot up from his seat, shocked. What? You lost the baby? And you never told me? His voice was filled with anger and disbelief. Catherine, this is not nice at all. How could you keep such a big thing from me? Catherine sniffled and wiped her tears. I was scared, Timothy. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought you would leave me, she said, looking down in shame. Timothy shook his head. This is wickedness, Catherine. How can we be living in the same house, and I don't even know what's going on with you? I trusted you. I'm sorry, Timothy. Please forgive me, Catherine begged. But Timothy just sighed and walked away, feeling betrayed and disappointed. Meanwhile, Tracy returned home that evening, feeling happy and nervous at the same time. She sat beside Timothy's mother and smiled shyly. Mama, Tracy said, there's something I want to tell you. Timothy's mother looked at her curiously. What is it, my dear? Tracy took a deep breath. I think I'm starting to have feelings for my boss. He asked me out, but I told him I wasn't ready yet. Timothy's mother's face lit up with a warm smile. My daughter, you deserve happiness. Frederick seems like a good man. If he truly cares for you, why not give him a chance? Tracy hesitated. But Mama, I don't know if I'm ready for another relationship yet. What if I get hurt again? My dear, I take you as my daughter and I want the best for you, Timothy's mother said. Since my son has decided to be foolish, you shouldn't keep waiting for him. Move on with your life and be happy. Tracy smiled, feeling comforted. Thank you, Mama. You are the best. The next day at work, Tracy took a deep breath and walked into Frederick's office. He looked up from his desk and smiled. Frederick, I have been thinking a lot, Tracy said softly. And I want to give us a chance. I accept to be your girlfriend. Frederick's face lit up with joy. Tracy, you don't know how happy you've made me, he said, standing up to hug her. I promise to treat you right and make you happy. Tracy smiled, feeling hopeful for the first time in a long while. Maybe, just maybe, love could find her again. 2 years had passed, and things were no longer the same between Catherine and Timothy. Timothy had started asking questions Catherine had no answers to. He no longer looked at her the way he used to, and worst of all, he had stopped talking about marriage. Catherine was getting restless. She knew she had to do something fast before she lost everything. One afternoon, she stormed into Prophet Mark's shrine, her face filled with frustration. The dimly lit room smelled of burning incense and strange herbs. The prophet sat on his usual wooden stool, chewing on a stick and flashing his rotten brown teeth as he grinned at her. Ah, my daughter Catherine, he said in his deep, eerie voice. What brings you here today? Catherine rolled her eyes and sat down. Prophet Mark, I need stronger charms. Timothy has started asking me too many questions, and I can feel he's pulling away. I need something more powerful to hold him down completely. The prophet chuckled, his eyes dark with mischief. You know the price, Catherine. Nothing good comes for free. He leaned forward and licked his cracked lips. This time, you must do more than before. To make the charm stronger, you must kiss me passionately. Catherine's stomach turned in disgust. She stared at his decayed brown teeth, and a wave of nausea hit her. What? Kiss you? She shouted, her face twisted in anger. Are you insane? Look at your dirty mouth. I can't do that. The prophet laughed wickedly. Then you will lose everything, my daughter. Timothy will leave you, and you will have nothing. Catherine stood up abruptly, her fists clenched. You are a disgusting old man. I will find another way. I don't need your stupid charms anymore. She turned and stormed out of the shrine, muttering angrily under her breath. The prophet watched her leave, his face dark with rage. He picked up his staff, waved it in the air, and mumbled strange words under his breath. No one insults Prophet Mark and goes free, he whispered, his eyes glowing red. The gods shall strike her down. Catherine had barely walked a few meters away from the shrine when she suddenly clutched her chest. A sharp pain shot through her body, and she gasped for air. What is happening to me? She whispered, her vision blurring. She stumbled, trying to grab onto something, but before she could take another step, she collapsed to the ground, lifeless. People gathered around her in shock, whispering and pointing. Some said it was a heart attack. Others murmured that she must have angered the spirits. but only Prophet Mark knew what had truly happened. Meanwhile, at home, the charm was just beginning to clear from Timothy's eyes. It was as if a heavy fog had been lifted from his mind, and for the first time in years he could see things clearly. Memories of Tracy and his mother flooded his thoughts, hitting him like a wave. He sat on the edge of his bed, his hands trembling as he realized how much he had lost. Tracy, his loving, devoted wife, had stood by him through thick and thin, yet he had thrown her away like she meant nothing. His mother, the woman who had always been his pillar of support, had warned him, but he had ignored her too. How could he have been so blind? How could he have let himself be deceived by Catherine's lies and manipulation? Timothy grabbed his phone and quickly dialed Tracy's number, but it wasn't connecting. He tried again and again, but each time it went straight to voicemail. Frustrated and desperate, he called his mother. She answered after a few rings. "Mama, Tracy's number is not going through. Where is she? I need to talk to her," Timothy said, his voice shaking with desperation. His mother sighed heavily on the other end. "Timothy, Tracy's number is not connecting because she's no longer here." Timothy's heart skipped a beat. "What do you mean? Mama, where is she?" "She's abroad now," his mother said, her voice calm but firm. "She left with her new husband." Timothy felt like the world had stopped. His throat tightened and his hands grew cold. "New husband?" No, Mama, that's not possible. Tracy wouldn't do that to me," he said. His mother let out a small, bitter laugh. "Do what to you, Timothy? After everything you did to her, you threw her out of your house, called her barren, and ran after another woman. Now that your eyes are clear, you suddenly remember Tracy." Tears welled up in Timothy's eyes. "Mama, I made a mistake. Please beg her for me. I still love her. I will do anything to get her back." His mother shook her head. "Too late, Timothy. Tracy has moved on. And by the way, she is not barren. She gave birth to twin boys a month ago." Timothy gasped. "Twins? She had twins?" "Yes," his mother confirmed. "I just returned from taking care of her and the babies. She is happy now with a man who truly values her, Timothy. She has found real happiness, something you failed to give her." Timothy broke down in tears. "Mama, please, tell Tracy I'm sorry. I was under a spell. It wasn't my fault." His mother's voice hardened. "It's always easier to blame someone else, Timothy. But remember this, life does not wait for anyone. You never valued Tracy when she was with you. Now she's gone, and you must live with that." Timothy wiped his tears, regret choking him. "Mama, what should I do now?" "Move on," she said simply, "and next time, learn to appreciate what you have before it's too late." Timothy sat in silence after the call ended. His heart ached with regret, but deep inside he knew his mother was right. He had lost the best thing that had ever happened to him, and there was no going back. Moral lesson: appreciate and cherish the good people in your life before it's too late. Not everyone you trust is truly happy for you, and not everyone deserves to know your happiness. Be wise with your choices and always value those who genuinely care for you. Dear viewers, if you enjoyed this story, please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications for more inspiring tales. Stay blessed, and thank you for your support.